A friendship fallout changed the way I think about communication, emotional safety, and reciprocity. For a long time, I kept hearing, you focus too much on facts. You become defensive. You need to be more vulnerable. But what frustrated me was that I was emotionally aware the entire time. An intimate situation happened within my friend group, and later one of my closest friends told me she felt hurt and disrespected because it happened in her home. The moment I understood my actions hurt her, I apologized, reassured her it wouldn't happen again, respected the boundary afterward, and never repeated the behavior. I validated her feelings immediately because even if something feels normal to one person, it doesn't mean another person won't feel hurt by it. And honestly, understanding how people feel has never been difficult for me. I grew up constantly monitoring emotional environments. I learned to read body language, tension, avoidance, emotional shifts, and instability before people even verbalize them. I usually know when something is wrong long before someone says it out loud. So what hurt me later wasn't simply that she had feelings. What hurt was realizing she had apparently been carrying resentment privately for months while still interacting with me normally, making indirect comments around others and discussing frustrations with people before fully addressing them with me directly. That made me feel emotionally blindsided. One moment that stands out was when she publicly made a comment about me not being allowed to stay over. It wasn't the boundary itself that bothered me, it was realizing I seemed to be the last person who understood there was even a problem. What hurt wasn't being told no. What hurt was feeling like everyone else knew there was tension before I did. Because while she was silently reevaluating me, I still believed our friendship was genuine, and I acted as such. As I reflected on it, I realized the deeper issue wasn't the original incident, it was that we fundamentally viewed relationships differently. My framework for friendship became directness, emotional transparency, mutual accountability, reciprocity, and emotional foresight. I believe communication was a form of care. If someone may be emotionally vulnerable, uncomfortable, or carrying hurt, I think compassion means accounting for that context whenever possible. What I wanted wasn't control over anyone's emotions. I wanted consideration. I wanted honesty before assumptions. I wanted a conversation before conclusions. I wanted the opportunity to know there was a problem before resentment had months to grow. And I think people misunderstood what happens in situations like that. When you feel unfairly characterized or emotionally unsafe, facts can feel like a form of self protection. So, yes, I defended myself. I corrected things that were untrue. I clarified timelines. I pointed out that I had already apologized and changed my behavior. I explained that while her feelings were valid, it also hurt me to feel retroactively punished for something I believe we had already addressed. But what frustrates me is that people often interpret self defense as a lack of empathy, when in reality, I had already spent the entire conversation validating her emotions. My position was never, you shouldn't feel hurt. My position was, you're allowed to feel hurt, but I'm also allowed to feel hurt by how this was handled. That distinction matters to me because emotional accountability should go both ways. I realized that my communication style isn't rooted in emotional coldness. If anything, I often over account for other people emotionally. But once I feel betrayed, misunderstood, or emotionally unsafe, I shift toward logic and clarification because facts feel stable when a relationship stops feeling emotionally honest. And while I still believe what happened toward me wasn't fair, I also understand now that communication is not only about truth, it's also about emotional positioning. There's a difference between that's your fault and I understand why that happened, but your action still had consequences. One creates shame, the other creates reflection while preserving connection. And I think that's a lesson I'm taking with me moving forward. Not that I need to stop defending myself, not that my feelings matter less, but that emotional safety, honesty, and reciprocity all matter equally in relationships. Because one of the most painful feelings in the world is realizing someone stopped feeling safe with you while still pretending everything was normal. And one of the loneliest feelings is realizing you spent so much time emotionally accounting for everyone else that nobody stopped to ask how you were doing too.